Today is day 61 of the podcast, and I want to talk about how Jesus knew what the real root of temptation was, because it showed up just in his daily practices, the way he lived his life. The real root of temptation is to act independent of the Father. When you get right down to it, that is at the very core root and will always be at the root of temptation. It is to act independent of the Father. And in his case, that would have fractured the oneness between he, the Father, and the Spirit. And so to act independent always causes a fracturing and a breach to take place. It was, temptation is to act, and it was for him to act on his own initiative, for him to have taken his own initiative. It was to do what he saw the tempter doing rather than what he saw the Father doing. It was to put the Father to the test instead of being tested himself and then thus approved. We're approved by going through tests. If you've never been tested on obedience, you may not have sinned yet, but you are not approved. He learned obedience through what he suffered. It is not what we are tempted to. It is who we are tempted from. That's why we can be tempted to good works. We can be tempted to do things on our own initiative that appear good on the outside. But if we act independent of the Father, we are in this place where we are vulnerable to temptation. So it is not what we are tempted to, but who we are tempted from. That is such a key. Jesus already understood, and he practiced daily. He knew where his instructions came from, and he lived into that. He had practiced yielding his body for the will of his Father to be accomplished. I shared yesterday, Hebrews 10, 5-9. He lived into fully. He recognized the temptation, and this is another piece that's critical. He recognized the temptation because an event did not disrupt his lifestyle. We can't begin to learn this way of walking if we're going to just treat walking in freedom on an event by event basis. We have got to learn the same way of walking like a son that Jesus modeled for us. So here's my question today. If what I've shared with you about the real root of temptation is accurate, where does this apply to your spiritual journey today?